calling me out on an April Fool's Galvatron video, TFG. This is bad comedy. How's it going, guys? It is Plastic Disasta, and today we are going to do the review of the Transformers Kingdom War for Cybertron Leader Class Galvatron. And what better way to celebrate the 35th anniversary of the 1986 Transformers movie. Now, I know what you might be saying. Wait, is that in the Studio Series line? Well, the thing is, Galvatron is one of the main villains in the Transformers 1986 movie, and he also played an important role in a Transformers Kingdom Netflix show. I know I'm late to the party of reviewing the Kingdom Galvatron figure, but once again, what better time to review Galvatron in the 35th anniversary of the Transformers movie? To give you the backstory of Galvatron, well, to summarize in a few words, is basically a damaged Megatron beats Unicron, gets repaired, and now he's reborn and renamed as Galvatron. Alright, so putting Galvatron to the side, let's talk about the packaging real quick. Taking a look at the packaging, we have Galvatron in his, I don't know what you call it, either the big gun mode or a turret mode. You can correct me in the comments below. And Galvatron himself. Taking a look at this side of the box, if you've seen my previous Kingdom reviews, you already know what this is. Taking a look at the back of the packaging, you can see he can turn into robot mode to the big gun mode in 33 steps. Now with the packaging out of the way, what about Galvatron himself? Well, I hate to copy other YouTubers, but I'll do it just this one time. The painting and the sculpting of Galvatron is actually pretty nice, but let's talk about the painting real quick. The majority of the painting of the figure is actually well done, especially on the purple on the top of the knees, because I thought it was actual plastic, but if you look closely, actually purple paint, but I noticed there is a little bit of quality control issues, but that's if you're looking at it really up close. But if you're looking at it from a distance, it's very passable. And what I also really like about the painting is the little bits of red on the abs and on the knees. Of course, the painting is well done on the face as well. Props to you, Hasbro and Takara. But what I don't like is the battle damage on Galvatron. The shins right down there, the chest area, and the forearms. I don't think the battle damage on this figure looks that convincing, to be honest. Don't get me wrong, I do like battle damage. It's just that for this figure, it's like someone just threw paint on it, slap it all over it, and call it done. And if you guys been subscribed to me for a long while now, you know that I could do a little better. Uh-oh, did Plastic Disasta just called out Hasbro Takara on their weathering? What's gonna happen next? Subscribe to find out. What the hell was that? It's just one little complaint. I mean, sure, some of you might like it. It's just my personal opinion. I mean, spoiler alert, I really do like this figure. And the sculpting, it's actually pretty nice. I mean, take a look around Galvatron. The surface details, it's actually really great. Put a little paneling on it and he will pop out. And now that we're on the back, take a look at that kibble management right there. Seeing a clean back like this, you know that Hasbro and Takara put a lot of effort in their engineering. And I just noticed that little gap right there on the forearms, 0 out of 10. As for proportions of Galvatron, he looks pretty thick, and that makes him pretty menacing. While comparing it to the 1986 movie version of Galvatron, he looks pretty skinny. So now that we're done with painting and the sculpting, let's talk about the accessories. First off, we are already looking at the one on his arm, which would be the fusion cannon. Of course, you can take it off his arm and put it on either side, but you know that Transformers fans are going to leave it on the right arm. And is it me, or does it look like a carrot to you? Also, the silver painting is really nice, but I accidentally chipped off the paint because I was toying around with this figure. I think it's due to me transforming it a few times. You can see that the paint is chipping off. Next up, you got the ice. Okay, but in all seriousness, it's his chain necklace. Now, if you've seen the 1986 movie, he did steal the Matrix, not from Optimus Prime, but from Ultra Magnus, but Ultra Magnus then became a Prime because he was just holding onto it. And of course, you can remove the Matrix from the chain, and if you guys own the Studio Series Hot Rod or the Earthrise / Kingdom Optimus Prime, you already know about this. But the only difference is, this is not in clear blue. It's already painted in. But the bronze and the silver looks relatively the same. And to put on the necklace, well, it's just like you're putting on a necklace, and you have these flaps to keep it down so it won't go flopping everywhere. So you might be thinking, oh, okay, that's pretty usual for a Galvatron figure, but there is one more accessory I want to show you guys, and that will be his two guns, which looks like a spaceship. And yeah, it is a spaceship because it's supposed to be based off the spaceship he used in the 1986 movie. And how many times I gotta say that word? And to make him hold it, of course, there is the handle right there, and you can also combine it, which put in these tabs in the hole. Make sure you pay attention. You can make it into one big gun. And in case you want to store these guns, there's a little tab right there on his backpack and a little hole right there so you can store these weapons. So here's how it looks when you store these weapons, and I am going to leave it like that when I display him. And of course, for every figure in the Kingdom line, they always come with a card, and it does have a Megatron card, and when you peel it, boom, it's Galvatron. So with the accessories out of the way, I'm going to take off his chain necklace and his guns in the back so we can move on to articulation. The head is on a ball joint, and moving on to the shoulders, so I'm going to interrupt the articulation. I have heard complaints about Galvatron's shoulder being misassembled. I'm not going to go into detail onto this, it's just that for my copy, I got really lucky. I'll put a video down in the description so other YouTubers can explain in detail. And if you are going to buy this figure, be careful out there. So anyways, the shoulder can move up this far, it can rotate, bicep swivel, bend at the elbow and two joints, really nice, wrist swivel, waist swivel, but the kibble hinders it. The front skirt can move out, but that's not really necessary. The side skirt can move out and rotate, but that's part of the transformation. The leg can move up that far, can move back that far, and it can do the splits. You also get a thigh swivel, bend at the knee, single joint, and you do get a really great pivot. So overall, the articulation of this figure is actually really great for a leader class. Size comparisons, here he is right next to the big G's, Gundam and Godzilla, and here he is right next to Ultra Magnus, Jazz, and Optimus Prime, and finally here he is right next to Bad Comedy and Hot Rod. And with these two characters, you're gonna have fun recreating those scenes from the movie. And by the time the video is released, there is a coordination figure of Starscream, not the red figure, but the Studio Series 86 Starscream. It's gonna come with the crown, the cape, and it also comes with a throne as well, which did not appear in the movie. So now that you've seen Galvatron in his robot mode, let's turn him into the big gun mode. Do the same thing for the other arm. I forgot to put this little cone right here. And you're going to repeat the same thing on this side. If you want to store this piece, you better make sure these purple flaps stay down, and now you can store it. Now this one is a bit of a pain to put on, but if you have enough patience, it will plug in. And here is Galvatron in the big gun mode, and I'll admit, it does look a bit silly, but kind of in a good way. If you're looking at the front and the side, yeah, it does look pretty cool, but for Kibble, yeah, you know that's obvious, that's the foot right there, and you look under, you know that's the chest, and of course I already showed you that's the arms if you've seen a transformation. But other than that, it still looks pretty nice, and of course it's just a modern version of the G1 alternate mode. And as for transformation experience, it's actually pretty easy once you transform it a couple of times. And I really like how they still give you storage options like these two guns and his chain necklace. Now, if only there is a light up feature which will jack up the price. Okay, I'm kidding. Let's not go there. Now, once again, I know that Studio Series Leader Class Starscream is not out yet, but with the Earthrise Starscream, at least you can still recreate the scene from the movie, even though it has wheels. And how's it roll? Fairly well. And as for complaints, well, I just wish that this part can lock into place. And that's the only complaint I have left, but overall, still a great alternate mode. Besides comparisons, here he is right next to Bad Comedy and Hot Rod, Optimus Prime and Jazz, and finally Gundam and Godzilla. So let's turn Galvatron back to his robot mode for my final thoughts. So for my final thoughts, you already knew I really liked this figure, so I'm just gonna straight up tell you guys, I highly recommend it. Pick this figure out. Great articulation and a solid figure. And as for accessories, well, it's everything you need just for a Galvatron figure. What more can I say? It's a must-have for new and older fans. Alright, so let's wrap up the review. If you make it this far, thank you so much for watching. I had fun reviewing this figure, and this is no means an attack on TFG. I'm just doing it just to poke fun. We do this once in a while, so go subscribe to him and also subscribe to me as well. And don't forget to leave a comment and a like as well. And I'll see you guys in the next video.
I'm not obsessed.
Bruh, I got some catching up to do.